Hey everyone, welcome back to All Things Dodgers. My name is Alan Ruiz, and we have a lot to talk about regarding the bottom half of this Dodgers lineup. So let's get right into it.
Against his old team. Ohtani unleashes on an 0-1. It's time. Reyes fires. Swing and a drive. Deep left field.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. My name is Alan Ruiz, and this is the second part in a three-part video series about how the Dodgers' trade acquisitions and also recovering players will be bolstering their roster down the stretch this season. Last video was about the starting pitching rotation. This video will be about the bottom of their lineup. Stay tuned as well for the end of the video. We'll be using, again, the new fun feature we introduced last time, the Dodgers Feel-O-Meter, to gauge how we're feeling about the state of this specific part of the Dodgers roster. So the bottom of the lineup, and that also includes the bench players who come off the bench as pinch hitters late in the game. What is the status of that side of the Dodgers roster? Well, a recent acquisition the Dodgers made was Tommy Edman, a switch hitter from the St. Louis Cardinals who has tons of positional versatility. It seems like once he returns on August 19 against the Mariners, he was injured, so once he returns, it seems like he'll be playing mainly center field, but whatever the Dodgers need him to do, it seems like Tommy Edman can do. Whether it's one of the corner outfield spots, second base, shortstop, third base, he can do it all, and at an elite level. He has won a Gold Glove at second base, but that spot is covered right now by Gavin Lux, who's been very hot over the past couple months since the All-Star break. So it seems like he'll be primarily in center with the elite glove that he brings. As a hitter, he's pretty average. Career on-base percentage of .319, an average over his career of .265. So he's also a switch hitter. He can face pitchers from both sides of the plate with an average bat who can come through in a big spot. Not a big power guy, but he's willing to take an RBI single or a sac bunt, whatever it takes to help this team win. I've enjoyed watching him on the Cardinals the past few seasons. He brings a lot of hustle to this team, a lot of heart, and so I can't wait to see him return on August 19. The big question is, how will he do when he comes back? He hasn't even played a game this season. Last October, he received a surgery on his wrist, and then in his rehab, he also sprained his ankle. So his rehab was a little bit delayed because of that. So will he play well? As his stats show throughout his career, will he go back to that level of performance? We still have to wait and see. Thankfully, we won't have to wait that long, but nevertheless, I'm going to be really excited to see what he can provide to this team when he does come back. A great pickup for this Dodgers team, and it really strengthens the depth of their lineup going forward. Another player they acquired was Kevin Kiermaier. I was thrilled with this trade. I really wanted Kevin Kiermaier on the team a couple years ago when he was a free agent. He ultimately signed with the Toronto Blue Jays, who the Dodgers dealt with to acquire Kiermaier. And so, who is he? He is primarily known for his elite defense in center field. So, some competition with Tommy Edman. I think Kiermaier will mostly be someone on the bench, waiting to pinch hit later in games, possibly as a defensive replacement, because he's won a platinum glove out there. And so he's someone that you don't even have to worry about, will he catch the ball or not. It's Kevin Kiermaier. Of course he will. If we look at his percentiles for this season, fielding run value, 94th percentile. His range out there in center, how many outs does he collect above average? 97th percentile. And then arm strength, 97th percentile. We saw that clearly seen in that 99-mile-per-hour throw that he threw to home plate, get the out at home, and help Buehler out in that first inning against the Brewers the other night. He just provides a lot of spark to this team when he's out there, and I can't wait to see what else he provides to the team down the stretch. Ahmed Rosario was another name the Dodgers acquired at the trade deadline. He, in a surprising move, was designated for assignment earlier this week. He has a really good average this season against both left-handed and right-handed starting pitchers. Overall, .305 average. But he only played in 5 games with the Dodgers. a couple RBIs was solid. I thought he was going to be a big player for the team into the postseason even, but not on the roster right now. Could be because of the success of Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas, who we'll get into in just a bit. So those are the players acquired by the Dodgers at the trade deadline. You also have Max Muncy coming back next week from an injury that has taken him out for many months of the season. He provides a lot of power in the middle of that lineup. Can't wait to see him back on the field with that max power that he brings. So what's my ideal postseason lineup? And then we'll look at the bottom and talk about a couple guys who are really a strong force in that bottom of the lineup. Here's my ideal postseason lineup. As of right now, Ohtani's the leadoff hitter. If that changes or not, still to be determined. But Ohtani at leadoff, Betts hitting second in right field, Freeman at first, Teoscar in the cleanup spot in left, Muncy once he returns at third base. Will Smith saw some success in the sixth spot in the lineup, so he could be dropped down there a little bit. Still a strong name to have in your lineup. Gavin Lux, great last few months since the All-Star break, there at second base. And then you have Tommy Edman in center and Miguel Rojas to round it out at shortstop. You also on the bench have guys like Jason Hayward, Andy Pages, Kevin Kiermaier, Austin Barnes, who seems to have a bit of a resurgent season this year, Chris Taylor if he comes back from a left groin strain, and then Nick Ahmed, who I think will ultimately also get designated for assignment, but he is a two-time Gold Glove winner at shortstop. So Dave Roberts has options. This is a much deeper lineup and bench than the Dodgers had earlier this season, when their bench primarily consisted of guys like Cavan Biggio, Miguel Vargas, James Outman. Now the options are more plentiful. The guys they have on that part of their roster have a bit more of a proven track record for being either average or above average offensively and defensively. Definitely in a better spot. But what needs to happen for that part of the roster to stay strong going into the postseason? Two guys that I think the Dodgers need to keep with their hot performance that they've had going on lately are Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas. Let's look at Kike. Beloved Dodgers player, fans love him. He provides a lot of fire and energy to the field, whether it's with the cleat he wears or with the dance moves he's got at second base, whatever it is, everybody loves Kike. But before the All-Star break, he was struggling. In 71 games, his batting average was only .191, an on-base percentage of .258, and 15 RBIs. Since the All-Star break, he's only played in a third of the games when you compare to the 71 games before the All-Star break. But in those few 24 games, he has a much better average at .271, on-base percentage of .319, so a third of his plate appearances he's getting on base, and almost the same amount of RBIs as he got before the All-Star break. You see there in the picture, Kike, after the All-Star break, started wearing glasses. It was found out that he has astigmatism in his right eye, and ever since he started wearing prescription glasses on the field, he's been hitting at above a league average rate, around 20% above league average. So the glasses are an A+. They're definitely helping Kike. They're definitely helping the team. Lots of offensive production from Kike, and he's been coming in really clutch for this team. He's been filling in for Max Muncy at third base, doing really good defensively there. And I didn't have him in my starting lineup for the postseason, but he could definitely make it in there. He talked last year about having a postseason fight that you just don't have sometimes during the regular season. So he understands what it takes to advance in the postseason. He's made it to the World Series before with the Dodgers. He's had lots of big postseason moments. If we look at his career postseason stats, .274 average, on-base percentage of .351, and a very strong OPS of .893. He had his 3-home run game in the 2017 National League Championship Series, 2 pivotal home runs in the 2020 NLCS. He rises to the occasion, and if he can have sustained success throughout the rest of this season and into the postseason, he could definitely find his way into the postseason starting lineup for this Dodgers team. This is a big piece the Dodgers didn't have earlier this season with the poor performance at the plate. but now he's heating up, and it looks like Kike is here to stay. Another player the Dodgers will be looking to provide constant defense and an average bat is Miguel Rojas. If we look at his comparison from last season and this season, much better average, 272 compared to 236, on-base percentage of 315 compared to 290, and an OPS of almost 100 points higher, 711 compared to 612. So Miguel Rojas hasn't only been the elite defender at short that we know him to be, but he's been a really solid bat. He came through the other night in the late innings against the Brewers. You see Miguel Rojas being the guy that can go in there and just get the job done, doing what it takes. Kind of like Edman. He's not going to hit a huge homer, but he might do a sac bunt, a clutch single or double to tie a game, or go ahead and take the lead in the game, whatever it is. Miguel Rojas, if he keeps this up, then that allows Mookie Betts to stay in right field, where he has just those instinctive skills that only Mookie Betts can have. But it makes the lineup a lot deeper, because now you can keep Mookie in right and maybe leave Hayward or Pages on the bench. So just better depth for this lineup, a good contact hitter, and I mean, they had a streak earlier this season, 24-game win streak, whenever Miguel Rojas got a hit. That ultimately ended in around the end of June, but I mean, it just goes to show how valuable Miguel Rojas can be to lengthen this lineup and give Dave Roberts more reliable options on this area of the roster. So let's break out the feel-o-meter. Are we feeling no stress? Are we mildly sweating? Are we nail-biting because of the bottom of the Dodgers lineup, or are we losing sleep? Well, last time about the rotation, the starting pitching rotation, I said nail-biting, but I'm going to go lower this time. I'm in between no stress and mildly sweating. I mean, the guys are definitely in a better spot than they were earlier this season. Better contact hitters there, guys with longer proven track records, especially in the postseason in big spots, but there still are question marks. Will Tommy Edman and Max Muncy come back and perform well? Will Kike and Miguel Rojas continue their strong performance from the last few months? Will guys continue to get injured and go down and suffer from surgeries and things like that? So still a lot left to see. We have a month and a half left before the postseason, but I think the Dodgers are in a much better spot than they were earlier this season, and I can't wait to see how everything shakes out and continue to break it all down with you as well. Next video will be about the Dodgers bullpen, how returning players from injury as well as trade acquisition Michael Kopech will strengthen the team down the line. Thank you everybody for watching this video. My name is Alan Ruiz. Please support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, clicking the notification bell, and leaving a comment down below about your thoughts on the Dodgers and their bottom of the lineup and its strength, its state right now at this part of the season. Thank you everybody for watching. Go Dodgers, and I will see you next time on the next episode of All Things Dodgers.